let's get into our part two of um, the 49ers talk. We're going to get up to this week's matchups. We have Nick Mullins, or sorry, my first matchup is Nick Mullins versus TJ Edwards. I think that TJ Edwards, I think it's his second year or something. I think when I looked him up, he's like 20 something. His 2019 stats, he had 30 combined tackles, 15 assist tackles. He's already on pace to double that. So I think TJ Edwards will definitely give Nick Mullins a run for his money. I think that it's gonna be a good game because I mean the Eagles are hungry. They're 0-3, and they haven't even been playing good teams that much. They played the Bengals. Um, but I do believe that the Eagles will give us a run for our money, and I think it's going to be closer. Plus, it's a primetime game, so you never really know with primetime games. But yeah, Nick Mullins, T.J. Edwards. I think that Nick Mullins will. I think if Kyle Shanahan sent him out by himself with no just some random game plan, it wouldn't work. But Shanahan's going to help him out, and I think Nick Mullins wins this matchup. But I think T.J. Edwards, someone's gonna pick off Nick Mullins. I think this week because I think that there's gonna be a couple miscues, but it's gonna be a good matchup. That's my first matchup. Let's go into the second matchup. Javon Kinlaw against Jamon Brown, possibly against Jamon Brown. Jamon Brown is questionable this week, so we'll see. But Jamon Brown has proven to be a pretty good lineman, but the fact that he's banged up, even if he comes in, I don't expect him to do great. So for me, I think that Javon Kinlaw is going to do great because you saw people like Dion Jordan and Ezekiel Ansah and Kerry Hyder, who were all free agents going into they could have been free agents going into week 3, but we picked them up, and I mean they've played great. I think it's our D line coach seems to get all of these defensive linemen in place. Seems like they're doing great, and I expect the beat up Eagles line. I think this is the game for Javon Kinlaw to go off, and I mean the dude's hungry and he's mad. I was watching a press conference with him, and he's just an angry dude. He's always talking about how angry he is. Oh, why would I be happy about a pass defended? It's not good enough. He currently thinks he's average, and he's probably top 3 rookie defender. He's probably top 3 on the defensive players drafted in this rookie class so far. He thinks he's average, which I think is great, which means that he expects so much growth out of himself. The only thing that scared me was I don't want him to be some, punching his girlfriend or something because he's so angry. But no, but I expect him to do great things. I think Javon Kinlaw gets his. I don't think he's gotten his first sack yet, but I expect him to get his first sack this week. And yeah, that's my second matchup. Third matchup is Jason Verrett versus Alshon Jeffrey. So as you know, Richard Sherman's still out. They're saying that he's eligible to be back by next week. I also believe that Emmanuel Mosley isn't going to make it back this week. If he is, either way, you still have another side to fill. You might have Ahkello Witherspoon, but Ahkello Witherspoon is also questionable, I believe. So you could see people come back, and it could be a whole different matchup, which would make it a little bit more interesting. But I think Alshon Jeffrey being questionable this week, I think he will play because the Eagles want to get a win finally, and this is probably going to be their last chance for a few weeks because they got a pretty tough schedule coming up. But I said Jason Verrett. It could also be Ahkello Witherspoon. But if let's say it's Jason Verrett, I think Jason Verrett played pretty dang good, and I think that Alshon Jeffrey is also going to give him a run for his money because he is a vet, and he may not be as fast, which might help Jason Brett because he's also a veteran, kind of. He hasn't played much, but he's slower from all of his injuries in the past. So, it could be Jason Brett locks up Alshon Jeffrey, but you could also see Alshon Jeffrey give him a run for his money, and you could see Akela Witherspoon. You could see other questionable names like maybe Emmanuel Mosley come in and take over for him because Kyle will probably get pissed at Jason Brett if something like that happened. Or you could see it the other way around because Akela Witherspoon, other than the first like 4 weeks or 3 weeks of last year, Akela Witherspoon has played terribly ever since then because he just keeps getting plagued with injuries every time he starts to shine again. He just seems to get injured. So I feel bad about that. But last year, Alshon Jeffrey did play 10 games. He got 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. So, Alshon Jeffrey's he's probably their number one receiver, which is sad because he's kind of washed up now. He's not washed up, but he's not what he used to be. So you could see Jason Brett lock him up, and then you could see from the Eagles, Arcega, I think he's second-year player now, second-year player Arcega Whiteside, or he's a first-year player, something like that. But you could see him shine. Hopefully not. Hopefully the Niners lock him up, but I'm sure Robert Saleh will figure something out, even though I don't really believe in Robert Saleh. He'll figure something out to counteract that. But I think this game's going to be good. Our number 4 matchup is Brandon Ayuk versus Darius Slay. Darius Slay recently came over from the Lions. Last year wasn't his best year, but it was also a good year. He had 2 interceptions, 13 passes defended, and I think he didn't. I don't know if he played a full season, but he's gonna be good for the Eagles. But I don't believe that Brandon Ayuk will burn him in the secondary. I believe it'll be more of a jet sweeps, to Debo and Brandon Ayuk. You could see more of that with those 2 receivers against Darius Slay. You probably won't see him because then again, Brandon Ayuk is a rookie receiver, and Debo could burn him, but I don't know about Brandon Ayuk yet. He's a little too young, but we'll see. He totally could play great against him, but I think Darius Slay's going to lock up Brandon Ayuk, and I think it's going to be a mix of Kendrick Bourne mainly and Debo Samuel are going to be playing very good, and you could see Kittle have a couple great plays. But usually it seems like every time Kittle gets hurt, he seems to slow down a little bit. But you could see him, come back and play great. But yeah, that's my other matchup. And my last matchup is second-year running back Miles Sanders for the Philadelphia Eagles versus Quan Alexander. Okay, and the reason why I put a linebacker here was Quan Alexander. I don't know if you actually watch the Niner games, but if you really watch Quan Alexander, he misses so many tackles. All he does is go for their legs and just kind of like slows them down a second and then lets them go. He's like, free bird, be free, and it's ridiculous. He totally is. He's just watch him this week. Miles Sanders is going to do some outside run. Quan Alexander's going to be the first to get there, but he's going to break a tackle. I think the only good thing I can find about that is he's the first one there that usually wraps them up a little bit, slows them down a little bit, and then the rest of the Niners blow them up. That's why, we need Dre Greenlaw back, and Fred Warner looks amazing this year, but we need Dre Greenlaw back because Fred Warner can't do it all by himself because Quan Alexander he can't tackle. He can't. And he just wants to do what he wants to do out there. So I think we watched that, and just to list some stats for Miles Sanders, his rookie year, he had 800 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns rushing as well. But his receiving, he did very good as well. So all together, he had around like 1,300 yards total. But he had 500 yards receiving as well as 3 touchdowns receiving. So he had 6 total touchdowns last year, 1,300 yards total. He had a great rookie year. You could see Miles Sanders just have a great game because depending on how our defense performs, they looked better in the second half last week. But at the start, I felt like if the Giants had Saquon Barkley, they could have ran all over us. So someone like Miles Sanders, watch him. We got to hold him this week, but the Niners will have they'll have a good matchup this week, and it's going to be a good game for this Eagles-Niners game, which is exciting. You always want to see a good game on a primetime game, and I'm speaking as a fan of football, not just the Niners. You want to see a good game, but I think the Niners come out on top this week. I think that it's going to be like somewhere in the bounds of 35-28, maybe. I think it's going to be a somewhat higher scoring game. I don't think it's going to be some crazy scoring game, but I don't think it's going to be a low scoring game either. I think all of our offensive players coming back for the Niners is going to be great for us. The Eagles are getting some players back, so it's going to be a good game on both sides. But that's all I got for this week's Niner news. Make sure to follow us below. Follow us on YouTube. We have content constantly coming out. If you missed this stream and you're watching in the past, if you want to see certain segments, we will be posting those to our YouTube channel. And also follow us on Twitter because we will be announcing when we're about to do a stream. My buddy CJ and I, we both do these streams together sometimes. We do them weekly, and we talk about NFL headlines. I just do my other weekly thing and talk about the Niners because love the Niners. But yeah, make sure to follow us on Periscope, YouTube, Twitter. Also, make sure to subscribe to YouTube. And yeah, you guys take it easy. I will see you guys next week, I believe. A little shorter than that, but it was good to see you guys again, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. If you want to see certain segments, we will be posting those to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Twitter because we will be announcing when we're about to do a stream. My buddy CJ and I, we both do these streams together sometimes. We do them weekly, and we talk about NFL headlines. I just do my other weekly thing and talk about the Niners because love the Niners. But yeah, make sure to follow us on Periscope,